Hello, hello, and welcome to Tapping Tuesday. My name is Fable, and here on this channel for the next hour, we are going to do EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, also known as tapping and tapping, tapping, tapping. If you know what that means, then you're in the right spot. If you're not sure, but you're interested in releasing overwhelm, maybe some trauma, anxiety. There's a lot of really great, scientifically proven and sound reasons to engage in EFT. The reason that we do this, we being the company EFT Universe, is there's a lot of really wonderful research that's been done on this set of techniques. It's a very simple process to apply, but the outcomes are profound. And while reading the research is very satisfying and can really make it feel more safe and exciting, experiencing it for yourself is really something quite different. And we want you to have that opportunity. So we go live once a week and we do all of the tapping that we can in the hour that we have. And for those of you who know how to tap and you're here, I hope that this encourages you to keep a regular practice, as it is certainly a way to encourage health multiple ways in your body. If it is your first time, welcome. If it is not your first time, welcome back. I'm so glad to have you here with us. I'm going to give a just very quick explanation of how this process works. Because normally in sessions, it's typically one-on-one or in a small group where we could see each other. So it's a little bit different here. And then we'll jump right into it. We'll ground for a second and then start tapping so that you can have that experience. I do have a live chat that goes the entire session. I do my best to check in on it multiple times throughout the session. So at any point, you can put suggestions in here that you would like to tap on. Now, for you to receive an experience, all you have to do is follow along. You don't ever have to put anything in the chat. I will give you some guidance on how you can shift maybe what we're tapping on if it doesn't apply to you, to make it something that you can still address within your own body. If what you want to suggest feels a little too vulnerable to put it out there on the whole internet on display, you can always email me, and then I can bring it up at the following week after I see your email come in. Also, if you have questions, I tend to not take a lot of time. I will go off on tangents until the end of time. Like, I love talking about this. So I try really hard to not do that because I want you to experience tapping, not just hear more about it. But I love when you email me your questions, and I would love to guide you as much as I possibly can on developing an EFT practice on your own. So my email is at the top of the chat. I will also speak it out loud. It is Fable, F-A-B-L-E, at EFTuniverse.com. And then I can bring up whatever thing you would like to tap on anonymously so that you can see how it can be tapped on, and also receive community support. We have a beautiful community here full of people who get what's going on. I promise you, you're not alone. All right, so with that, I'm going to say hi real fast, and then we will ground and we'll get right into tapping. I don't have any community emails to bring up this week, so it'll be whatever is brought up in the chat today is where we will start. Alrighty, hi Zarina, I'm so glad you're here. Hi Mama Hutch. Hello Nancy, I'm glad you're here too. I'm grateful for you too, Serena. Thank you. Hi, Danette. Oh, I'm so happy you're back. And Anya, hello. Okay, thank you for your suggestions, Serena. Shame around how much or little we feel safe to shine. I appreciate that because absolutely, I think one thing that points out is we can have an issue and then have feelings about the issue, and then that's also in our way, right? And all of it's very important to address, and unweaving one part of it can help unweave other bits of it too. So there's no wrong way to approach it, and any amount of awareness on it is helpful. Hello, Tanya. Hi, Shay. Alrighty, let's go ahead and ground for just a moment, and then we'll get right into tapping. So first, just take a breath, and it can be as deep as it feels good to you. Don't force it to be deeper than what you really want to do. So go ahead and take a breath. Let it out. And just let your body sag. Relax. Have bad posture for a moment. It'll be okay. Let's take another breath and release. The reason that we just release and relax into this is we're wanting to send our physical body signals of we're taking a different tone right now. We're going to relax. This is a good time to let go of things. We're already starting that process just in how we're breathing and how we're holding our posture, although we will sit back up in just a second. Let's go ahead and take one more breath and out. Okay. So for grounding today, go ahead and sit back up and just wiggle your body and wiggle as much as you want. And just notice if there's anything really simple that your body's asking for. If it's a stretch, you want to put your arms up and just stretch really hard. Or if your body's asking to like curl up, just get into a tight little ball if that's what feels good. And just go ahead and hold that, do the wiggles, do the stretching. If you need to go to the bathroom, if you want to grab a glass of water, now is a really good time to do it. I promise you will not be missing much. We're going to ground for another few moments. You have enough time to go and do that. If you're cold, maybe grab a blanket. If you're hot, maybe turn a fan on. And just notice what small little comfort can you offer to your body. Let's take another breath. Okay. And for further grounding, let's go ahead and just put hand over our heart, over lungs, anywhere in here. If you don't want to do heart, that's okay. You can choose a different spot on your body. I just want you to think about what's underneath your hands, whether you have them in different spots or same spot. We tend to look at our body as a surface level, right? We see our skin, we see our clothes, we see our posture. What about what's under here? Under here, there's tissue, there's organs, there's bones, and all of it has a system. It's all doing stuff. It's not just sitting there. It's all very active. Even when we're not aware of it, it's all got purpose. It has a life cycle. Sometimes it's repairing. Sometimes it's going to battle. Sometimes it's just in the flow of what it's supposed to do, and there's nothing really outrageous happening. Let's go ahead and take another breath. And now think about how this is occurring, not just under where your hand is, but through your whole body, through both arms, both legs, your back, your neck, your head. There's a lot of movement and a lot of good things. And now let's apply that to emotions. Emotions are also something that flows all the way through this body. We feel it, right? When we feel emotions, we feel it in our body. And maybe those emotions also have cycles. They also have beginnings and endpoints. Sometimes they go to battle. Sometimes they just flow. All of that happens in this little body right here. Let's take one more breath and let out. And go ahead and relax your arms. Well done. Alrighty, I'm going to double check the chat and then we will get right to tapping. Okay, hi Jerry. Alrighty, let's go ahead and start with Zarina's suggestion of shame. And there's so much that can be attached to that one word, right? And what exactly is your definition of shame? Because that is different from one person to the next. Because shame is something that we're taught as a signal of alert that we have an unmet need or a crossed boundary. It's something, oh, we did something we weren't supposed to do, or we didn't do something that we absolutely were supposed to. And then we feel bad for some reason. And there's a whole lot that can go into that. So when we apply it to feeling safe to shine and the pressure that that applies to that, um, what do I want to say about that? It on the surface feels like, man, I just am racking up all of these failures. But shame can actually be a protective mechanism, right? And we can talk more about that as we're tapping. So just keep that in mind. And if shame or feeling safe to shine isn't resonating with you, you could choose different words on something that you feel about a judgment that you have on yourself, a feeling of judgment that you have on yourself about something that you're trying to do, something that you're trying to accomplish. Like, oh, I just feel so dumb that I'm this age and I don't know this, or, oh, I just feel so old and rickety because I know what to do, but my body's tired. And whatever a judgment might sound like to something that you're genuinely working on. Even if you haven't been able to physically take any action, you're still really wanting to engage. Okay. So go ahead and take just a moment to kind of get a situation into your brain as we tap. And I'm going to use the word shame, but if you have a different word that you're like, this works better for me, anytime I say shame, replace that word and put in your word. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. As I take this time to focus in on how I feel about the fact that I don't feel safe to shine, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I feel shame that I haven't figured out how to feel safe to shine yet, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I don't feel safe to shine and I feel shame about it. And I don't know how to fix any of it yet. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Afraid to shine, unsafe to shine. Disappointed in myself, ashamed of myself. I wonder, how could I seriously say that I deeply and completely accept myself when I obviously do not? Because I know where I should be. I know I should allow myself to shine, and I should feel safe in it. I should be able to claim that for myself. And I don't. And I can't figure it out. And I feel feelings about that. And I don't understand, and I don't think it's possible that I can both feel that way and say that I really do deeply and completely accept myself. Because isn't shining, isn't reaching that point, isn't that the proof that I accept myself? Isn't that what that means? Hmm. What does it mean? What does it mean to shine? What have I been told about that? As I consider what it means to me when I say I allow myself to shine or I'm fully shining, I hold space to learn or discover that maybe I do deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Well, shining means that I've made it. I've made it to being authentically me. I've made it to ignoring everybody else's opinions, and I'm living my truth in my own opinions and uh, unapologetically myself and boldly and loudly. And I'm succeeding in following my dreams, and all of the callings that I feel are truly mine and my soul. That's all. That's all I have to do, right? That's that's a lot. That is a whole lot. And what if I don't ever make it? What if I don't ever reach that space? All of those things. What if I don't check those boxes? Does that mean I failed? Have I failed at ever being authentic? Have I failed at shining? Because if that's what it means, I can't accept that. I can't accept myself. Because what a waste. What a sad waste my life will have been. Mm. Whew. As I feel the grief of these words, I hold space to examine them further. I wonder, who gave me this definition of shining? Where did I learn this? Probably somewhere in society, maybe from well meaning people, maybe not. I wonder, even though these definitions are lovely and sound wonderful, like, yeah, are they the only truth? Are they the only arrival? Or is it possible? Is it possible that maybe I am living my truth? Because right now I am a living conglomerate of my experiences. I I have reasons for not feeling safe, real reasons. And that's not something for me to be ashamed of. I do know who I am. I feel it inside of me. And it's okay if it's afraid, because that truth has been hurt before. And me shining has had outcomes that were painful. It makes sense that this is part of my equation. And maybe being bold and unapologetic is truth for the person that I've seen do that. And they were powerful. And oh man, I want to feel that. And maybe I'll feel it in the same way they do, but maybe I won't. Maybe the way I shine is exactly what I'm figuring out. Maybe it's more delicate, intricate, complex. Maybe it's softer. That does not mean it is less deep or less impactful. Because sometimes a person shines by shouting, "You can do it!" And sometimes a person shines by pulling another person in tight for the best hug of their life and just whispering, "You can do it." And maybe part of what I'm feeling is all this pressure that I've applied to shining, the demand that I have for it. Ooh, have I been demanding? Ugh. I wonder if I've been demanding. Is that the pathway I want to choose to shine? Maybe it'll work. Maybe demanding will get me there. But what if? What if instead of feeling wrong for feeling unsafe, I tell myself, that's wisdom. So let's figure out what does feel safe. Let's figure out where truth can sit, where words can be spoken. And even if what I feel is that right now there isn't a place, that still counts as communication. Because isn't it true that this is my light? And even if my answer is there's not a safe place, then I can say, oh, I'll be a safe place. I'll be a safe place. I won't apply pressure. I won't apply demand. Instead, I'm going to be really curious. I just want to get to know you, light of mine. And I don't know how to do it this way yet, but maybe it's okay to figure it out. Figuring out figuring out my light, allowing space to acknowledge why it feels unsafe. Inviting curiosity to explore what shade of vibrancy my light exists in. To allow myself process and to trust that all of it is moving me towards shining more and shining brighter. Because the truth is, I can't help but be myself. I don't know any other way to be. And it's okay that where I am now is the result of my experiences. My light is where it is because of what I've been handed. And I'm allowed to have feelings about that. But maybe I can release shame as one of them. I'm here through everything. I'm here. And I don't need to feel embarrassed about how I've survived. And as I give myself permission to learn the aspects of my own light and learn how to create a safe space for it, I give myself permission right now to deeply and completely accept myself. My light, shining, my safe space. Permission to release. Releasing shame. And I might be pretty good at figuring out my light. I may be terrible at it. Oh, I may not know what I'm doing. But I am always myself. So, however this pathway looks, it's always authentically me. And I give myself permission to explore how I can choose to continue to let it unfold. And I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, go ahead and pause tapping and take a deep breath. Now take just a moment and think about how you felt when we started that tapping. When you thought about your light, you thought about shame and unsafe, and how that feels now as you think about it. And if you notice that there's a difference, that it feels lighter, lighter, easier. You feel more confident, more powerful in your body. You feel lighter or tingly. If you feel more happy, if you are sighing, crying, laughing, yawning, if you feel tired, if you feel really energetic, all of those are signs that your subconscious brain received what you were saying with your conscious thought. And it said, ooh, I really like this. Let's integrate it. And now it's continuing to change those templates and your subconscious function, even though you're not tapping on it anymore. So, really good job. Alrighty, let us see what's next. Oh, I'm glad I made you smile, Mama Hutch. Hi, Cherry. Let's see. I feel like I skipped a few. I'm just scrolling back. Hi, Trisha. I did. I skipped over. I'm so glad I went back and I see your message. Okay. Huge to-do list type anxiety. Okay. Hi, Janet. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. Oh, you had a panic attack yesterday. I hope you're feeling better today. That can have a huge physical response. So I hope that you're able to rest. Let's see, tapping was recommended. Regional pain, resistance, all fight or flight. Yes, Cherry. If you are looking for more information and let's see. I'm looking for a name because I want to say my name, Janet. Cherry and Janet. If you want to go to our channel leader here on YouTube, EFT Universe, there are so many videos that you can watch explaining more about tapping that can help you understand a little bit of what this process is. Also, you can always email me. My email is at the top of the chat if you want to grab it. You want to scroll up and grab it. I'm always happy to chat with you. Okay. And Karen, hello. Glad to be here. Feeling irritable and tired. Tapping solutions are not working. Okay. I'm curious about that. When you say it's not working, what are you trying? And like, what are you aiming for? And what specifically have you utilized to reach for it? Because usually what that means is you're tapping on a branch, not a root. And I hear you in that frustration. And sometimes the roots are not what we think they are. They're not at all connected to the things that are, because like the branches are what's on fire, right? These are the things that we're very aware of consciously. And the roots of those issues could be like the way the subconscious brain logically connects things. It's a different type of logic than the conscious brain. So knowing how to trace that can really be insightful. Let's see. I'm just reading through the comments real fast. I'm glad you feel better, Anya. Okay, so anxiety, and I'm gonna say fight or flight. I'm going to use the word stressed for this next tap. But what I am approaching with it is you can use anxiety, you can use overwhelm, anything that kind of gives you that heightened sense, where you think about something and you feel that like clenching or that race of cortisol flowing through your body, that makes your eyes widen a little bit more, that keeps you up at night. Whatever word that is for you is what I think would be good to use for this if it's not stress. Stress will work, but if you immediately think, this is a better word for me, use that one. Okay, let's go ahead and start tapping. And this is going to be a good example of how to tap on a big, more vague, overarching theme, and then getting more specific into it, even if even if there's a lot of specifics. So instead, it's a different way of narrowing it down. That's the best I'll describe it. You'll get it better by as we go. Alrighty. As I tap on these huge amounts of stress that I currently have, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I'm so overwhelmed by all of this stress, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I'm so stressed and I don't have any good solutions for it, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. This stress, this stress in my body, this stress in my mind, this stress in this moment, the inevitable stress in my future, all of the unresolved stress I still carry from my past. I wonder, what is the purpose of stress? Why does stress exist? Maybe it is a biological reaction in the body. Okay, that makes sense. We have that in multiple ways. Yeah, okay. Uh, Maybe also stress is a guideline, perhaps, for expectations, for movement. It's a way to avoid consequences. I wonder, is this stress that I feel right now in my body, is it helpful? Is it helping me? Is it helping me meet expectations? Is it helping me survive? Yes. No. I don't know. Whether or not I know right now if this amount of stress that I currently feel is helpful, I deeply and completely accept myself. And I hold space to ask more questions about it. Well, how would I know? How would I know if it's helpful? What aspects do I consider? Do I consider it by my success rate? How much I'm getting done? Do I consider it by how I feel at the end of the day? Do I consider it by how I feel at the end of the day? Do I feel successful? Do I compare my to-do list to my done list? Do I rate it according to what all I can prove that I did? Hmm. As I consider the ways that I could rate to determine the helpfulness of this stress, I hold space to discover perspectives that might feel better. Because maybe it is helping me, but also maybe I haven't tried anything else. I wonder, do I believe there is anything else? Do I trust that there could be something else? Something that I've heard of, something I could try. Does it feel safe to try something else? Oh, no, 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 no. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I can't afford to take time to try something else because you know what? I do that and then it doesn't work and then I'm behind even more. And then the stress is more and it's more impossible and it's just going to make all the stress pile up at once. Oh, does that mean I feel like stress is inevitable? Hmm. Well, I suppose if stress is inevitable and there are some true benefits to it, sometimes in certain amounts, what do I do? Then what do I do? What can I do? As I ask myself this question, with all of the emotions and everything that I feel behind it, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know why I'm asking this question. It's hard, and I'm tired, and I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. Stress is hard. What I'm doing is hard. And it would be really great if something were easier. And the easier I want is my solution. I want this to resolve. It's okay for me to want it to resolve. That makes a lot of sense that that's what I want. And I offer myself compassion that I want that and I don't have it yet. I wonder, does offering myself compassion feel better? Does that offer me some relief? Yes. No. I don't know. Whether or not I did feel relief when I said I was offering myself compassion. I wonder if I can't force my solution, that's just not an option, and I can't completely relieve the stress, that's also not really an option. What if I just add other things in? What if I gave myself more compassion? What if I gave myself more nurture, understanding? What if I just gave myself permission sometimes to act out everything that I'm feeling, even if it's irrational, even if it's childish, even if it would be really, really embarrassing if anybody else knew I was doing it or could hear me or see me? But I hold space for myself to do it by myself. Could that feel better? What if I gave these tools that I'm currently using supports? Because I don't have better tools yet. I don't know what to use instead of what I'm currently using. So, what if I just added to what I'm using to make it better instead of trying to take away the only thing that I know how to use? Making it better, giving myself support. All right. Okay. Sure. I'll give that a try. But what does that mean? What does that look like? How do I do that? Well, probably listening to myself, maybe prioritizing things that I already know would help, like water or food or else relaxing, and not piling on guilt and more stress because I know I should be sleeping when I physically can't figure out how to do it. So instead, I support myself in relaxing the best that I can. Maybe that, okay? And I know I'm supposed to eat food. Maybe I'm too nauseous or I'm too tired or something else. And food is hard. Maybe instead of the thought of preparing a whole meal or whatever the big parts of that is, give myself permission to find a simpler solution. Maybe it's a protein bar. And I know they're super processed and full of stuff and blah, blah, blah. But maybe it's a step. Maybe I give myself permission to have steps. Maybe steps are a support. Because isn't it better than making myself wait and have nothing? Hmm. Permission for steps. Permission for supports. Supports that make my stress easier. Permissions that make the reasons for my stress lighter. Ideas. Maybe wild ideas, crazy ideas, silly ideas. And I give myself permission to try. And you know what? Maybe they don't work. Maybe they don't work at all. But I'm giving myself permission to try because maybe they do. And I allow myself to be open to receive support. So as I continue to seek my solutions, and as I continue to shoulder the stress of all of that, I also, from now on, allow myself all of the supports to do those things that I can find. It actually makes sense to do that. Doesn't that mean it's most likely I'll be successful? Supports make sense. I allow supports. And as I integrate this into my thoughts and my actions, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, pause tapping and take a deep breath. Let it out. I'll take just a moment and think about how you felt when we first started tapping on stress. And notice if there's a difference when you think about whatever word you had, how it impacts you now. And if it feels different, if it feels more distant, more small, not as, what's the word, reactive in your body. And all of the things, if you were sighing, crying, laughing, yawning, those are signs that your subconscious brain said, ooh, I like this new approach and how we're looking at this stress. I'm going to write this into our code. And it's going to keep working on that. So good job. All right. I know we are right at time. We have enough for one quick little tap. I'm going to see what y'all have been saying. Okay, Karen, how do I get to the root? Email me, because that is a different conversation. And I can make a video on that so that everybody gets an answer. But it's way more than 8 minutes to, like, if I were to put that together in just a thought right now, I would go way too much into depth. So, but I will answer it, I promise. Yep, inching forward with self-care, absolutely. And all those inches add up quicker than we think. Yay, yay, yay. Yay. Okay, I'm so glad. Good job. Good work. Alrighty. I'm going to do a closing tap, just feeling like physical sensations into our bodies. So let's do that. It's kind of a wrap up. And I'm going to change to this tapping space right here. So just follow along with me if you're not quite sure where the tapping spots are. This will do. And I'm tapping very lightly, about the pressure as you would like tap on a keyboard. Okay. As I tap and I consider the feelings inside of my body, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though feelings in the body is very subjective and not in a medical book per se, I give myself permission to feel what I feel in my body. As I allow myself to feel all that I feel in my body. I deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder, isn't it interesting the correlations that I could draw on the function of my emotional body and my biological body? For instance, I don't really think much about what's going right in my biological body because that's kind of my line of normal, right? I really only really notice my biological body when something is like extravagantly good, like a super great feeling, or something not great is happening, something's wrong, and it's calling my attention to it. I wonder, is that the same thing I do to feelings? Do I dismiss all of the feelings that I would call right and good, and only really notice the feelings in my body when they're really big and happy or really just fantastic or heavy and hard and something that I don't want? Hmm. As I consider how much I notice the positive feelings in my body, I deeply and completely accept myself, and I wonder, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? Um, I mean, my body still, like my biological body, just chugs along, does what it's supposed to do. Would that be the same for my emotional body? Or what if, as I focus on the good feelings in my body, they grew? Isn't that typically what happens? I mean, for instance, if I decide to focus on gratitude and I genuinely think of things that I'm grateful for, don't I begin to feel that spread through me? What if, what if I allow that to be the bigger focus? Oh my goodness, here we go. Another thing to think about, another task. So many people talk about this. It's so cliche now. Yada, yada, yada. Even if, as I consider this, I have some pushback of irritation or resistance or something else from my brain, I accept all of my feelings and allow myself to continue to wonder. Yes, it's another thing to think about. Yes, it's cliche, but is it helpful? Does it make me happier? Does it have a biological effect in my body? Yes, it does. Does it help with centering and grounding? And isn't it an easy win? Well, I can't have easy wins. Even if I had that pushback, I give myself permission to try because it would be easy. And maybe the outcome would be bigger than I could even put a meaning to right now. So I allow myself to receive. I receive the positive intention of this group. I receive the positive community that has developed just by people choosing to be together. And I choose the wonderful process that EFT is, that someone just put together as a solution. And then others joined in. And now I get to receive it. And I allow myself to feel safe in happy places. I allow my body to feel safe, to be happy, even with problems and chaos and heavier emotions. I give myself permission to have both and to grow my happy as much as I want and as big as I want anytime I choose. Happy in my body. Feeling good feelings in my body. And as I carry this with me, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, pause on tapping, take a breath. Nicely done. All right, I saw some comments come in. I just want to make sure I know it's time to go. You're very welcome. Small steps. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, good, good, good. I just want to make sure no one had like a lingering something. I want you all to feel seen and loved and heard. Thank you so much for being here with me this week. I hope that you feel better, and I hope that you know that you matter. I love you this week. I hope that you feel better, and I hope that you know that you matter. I love spending this time with you. I think about you a lot. So please reach out if you have any questions about anything. I will help in every way that I can. I will post a video for you later this week, and I hope I get to see you next week. But if not, there's always a recording, and you're always welcome anytime you can make it. Mwah. Take care. Love you so much.